Good morning, yogis. It's so good to be with you today. I'm Karen, and with me is Mandy.
Hi.
And we're going to be joining you today. We're so glad that you could be here. So I see some of you have already joined us. And if you are new to yoga, if you've not done this before or it's been a long time, that's fine. This is very beginner friendly. Hi Marina. Hi Kathy. Hey Jenny. And so I would just ask that don't worry about any props that you see here. We're just have it very simple today. We're going to be using just our mats. I have a towel that I folded up to put under my hips to start with because I have really tight hips. So if you have a yoga blanket or if you've got a towel, if you've got tight hips, you can grab that. I also have a couple of blocks. These are optional. I'll probably only use one during the practice, but it's nice to have two if you've got them. If you don't, again, no worries. If you've got a really thick book at home, you can use that to put your hand on in case you need it. So, hey Tiffany, glad you're here. So why don't we go ahead and get started in our easy pose, whatever that is for you today. It might be sitting with crossed legs, it could be in lotus position, half lotus, or perhaps you just want to sit with your legs extended. And we'll take the first few moments of our practice, as always, to center ourselves and to bring to mind our intentions for our practice. So let's begin. Namaste. So as you settle down into your seat, just ask you to let your sits bones take root. Allow the backs of your hands to rest gently on your knees, joining forefinger and thumb on either hand. Feel your spine lengthen as you sit firmly into your mat. And allow the spine to grow, the crown of the head reaching up to the sky. And let's take the first few moments of our practice today to bring to mind an intention for our practice. Perhaps it's just movement, or maybe you have an intention of peace in the world. Or maybe you have an intention of a prayer that you have for somebody in particular. Whatever it is, bring it to mind and let it settle. Notice your breath as your body settles in to this special place today. Notice the gentle movement of the chest and the belly as they fill up with air, and the gentle deflation as you exhale. Let's turn those palms over onto the kneecaps. With your next inhalation, sit up a little taller. Allow the spine to lengthen, the shoulders to relax down away from the ears. And as you exhale, allow the chin to come down gently towards your chest. Never push beyond what feels good for your body at any time. Our next inhalation is going to take our gaze all the way up through the neutral, all the way up to the sky. Again, maybe the head comes back slightly, or maybe just let your eyes go up to the ceiling. Take a deep inhalation and bring your gaze back to neutral. And as you exhale, turn your head over towards your left shoulder. Keep the chin parallel with the earth and the shoulders down away from the ears. Only turning as far as it feels comfortable for you this morning. After your next inhalation, allow your exhalation to take your gaze all the way through to the other side, and then gaze over your right shoulder. Continue breathing gently. And then inhale your gaze back to center, and exhale your left ear to your left shoulder. Perhaps allow your right hand to drift out to the side, your fingertips gently touching the ground. And notice what you feel from your fingertips all the way up towards your ear. As we inhale, we return everything to neutral, and then exhale the right ear down to the right shoulder. And if you extended your arm on the other side, do the same thing on this side. Just reach the fingers out and notice what you feel along the arm. Return everything to neutral on an inhalation. As we exhale, take the shoulders down and back, settle in, and release the hands from the knees. We're going to inhale the arms up to our upward salute. Just inhale the arms up, allow your breath to lead and your arms to follow. And as you exhale, your arms will come down, float all the way down. So if you're inhaling, your arms are coming up. And if you're exhaling, your arms are floating down. We're all going to be at a different pace because we all have different lung capacities. So don't try to keep your breath and your movement in line with Mandy or me. Just follow your own breath. The next time when our arms come up, we're going to pause there a moment and just have a few neutral breaths. I want everyone to bring their shoulders up towards their ears and just imagine that you're trying to touch your ears with your shoulders. And now relax them down to place. Feel the shoulders rest where they belong. All right, deep inhalation. As we exhale, bring your arms out to cactus with the elbows wide, fingers wide. This time, inhale up. Exhale into cactus again, at your own pace. We'll do a few of these. Glad to see everybody joining in this morning. All right, next time, let's bring those arms all the way up. Exhale into cactus, and then make fists with your hands. We're gonna roll our wrists and warm up the wrists, which is really important before we get started on doing our planking, our down dogs, our tables. All right, now loosen up those fingers and begin to flick. Good. And shake the hands, and then just let the arms float all the way down to the side. Woo, feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Let's inhale those arms up. This time as we exhale, we're gonna twist to the left. Allow that left hand to rest behind you on the mat. The right hand will be on your thigh. Your twist starts in the buttocks, works its way up the torso. And if your head twists, it's the last thing to twist. Continue to breathe and notice what it feels like to breathe in this twist. All right, next inhalation, we're gonna come back up to those upward salute arms. As we exhale, we're gonna twist to the other direction. Left hand is now resting on the thigh. The right hand is down on the mat. Again, think about that spine being long. Shoulders are relaxed. And then we inhale back up to And next time when we exhale, we're gonna fold forward from the hip crease. Follow your hands all the way across the room and let your hands come down to the mat wherever they will. Some of us have more flexibility than others. You might be able to bring your chest down to your legs like Mandy's able to. Or you may be like me, a little stiff in the hips. Honor your body and just do what it says it can do today. All right, let's inhale those arms up. Exhale them down to the side, and we're gonna change the crossing of the leg. So if you're sitting in half lotus, you wanna carefully change those legs. So let the other leg have a chance in front, and we're gonna repeat the twists. So let's inhale those arms up. As we exhale, twist left, left hand on the mat behind, right hand on the thigh, and just twist starting from the buttocks, let it work up the torso. Next big inhalation, let's come forward with those arms up high. Exhale, twist in the opposite direction. Left hand on the thigh, right hand on the mat for support. Nice long spine. Beautiful spine, Mandy, looking good. Let's inhale those arms back up. This time as we exhale, we fold forward again. Follow your hands across the room. We're thinking about bringing our belly down towards those crossed legs. Notice what it feels like to be in this folded position. This side may be tougher, or it might be easier than the last one. Just notice it and don't make any judgment. All right, let's inhale those arms back up. And as we exhale the arms down, we're gonna uncross the legs again, but this time we're gonna bring our feet to the edges of the mat. We're gonna do some windshield wipers, one of my favorite hip openers. We're also gonna involve a twist here. Now, you don't want your feet any wider than your yoga mat. If you've got a really wide mat, you don't want your legs out too wide. It's too hard on your hips. If you've got really tight hips, in a little bit closer than the width of your mat. So we're gonna take one hand behind the back and then the other, fingertips pointing towards the back of the mat. And let's just windshield wiper our knees from one side to the other. Yeah, it's really good on the hips. It's one of my favorite hip looseners. All right, the next time that your knees are over to the right, let them stay there. And you can just let them stay, or you can take your left hand up and bring it down onto the side of your mat next to your right hand. I'm gonna stand so you can watch Mandy. So Mandy can either stay here, or she can walk her hands into the center of the mat and twist the torso even more. You can stay up on your hands, or if you like, you can come down to your forearms, if that works. Never push your body beyond what it's willing to give you today. So listening to the body, we're just going to keep that twist for right now. Think about your hips and also about your waist, and continue to breathe. When you're ready, if you've decided to go into your forearms or onto your chest, press up to your hands and then walk your hands to the side of the mat and come back to the forward-facing position. And we're going to windshield wiper those legs again. Thank you, Mandy. We're going to windshield wiper the legs side to side. And this time, when your legs are over on the left next time, let them stay there. You can stay right here if you wish. Or take the right hand onto the mat next to the left. You can turn your torso and stay on your hands, or come down to your forearms if that works for you. Whatever you did on the first side, try to do the same thing on this side. Continue to breathe and notice what's happening inside the body, where you're feeling this in your body, hips or waist. Notice what it feels like to breathe in this twist. If you're on your forearms or you're on your chest, press up to your hands. And then walk your hands to the side of the mat and come back forward. We're going to repeat those windshield wipers. Not about you, but this always makes my hips feel a little bit looser. How are yours, Mandy?
Good.
Good. This is helpful. Good. It's one of my favorites. All right. Got a lot of hip loosening there. We did some for our shoulders. And now we're going to go ahead and bring ourselves into a seated position. And I'm going to roll forward onto my knees and bring myself into table. You can sweep your feet to the side if you rather. And meet me in the center of your mat for table. So check out your wrists, make sure they're beneath your shoulders, and that your knees are beneath your hips. If your knees are too close together, it's going to make it uncomfortable for you. We're going to begin with a few cats and cows. So as you exhale here, let's round the back, lift the back, and tuck the chin and the tailbone under. And as you inhale, take the chin and the tailbone up, bringing the chest between the biceps. Now keep doing this, exhaling into cat and inhaling into cow. So if you are inhaling, you're moving into cow. And if you're exhaling, you're moving into cat. With each of these movements, see if you perhaps can go into a deeper expression as your body gets a little warmer. Now after your next cat, just meet me in a neutral table. And we're going to take the left leg behind us and press the ball of the left foot into the mat. Think about keeping your hips nice and level here. Allow that leg to float up. If you're not sure if your hips are level, if you don't have a mirror next to you, just put your hand on your hips and see if that hip has rotated up or if it's nice and level. Keep the foot flexed and push away with the heel. If you'd like, you can add the right arm, extend it out in front of you, and turn the palm into the midline. Keep your gaze down the mat for right now and look at that left thumb. Now look up at your right thumb. Look at your imaginary neighbor on your left. And your imaginary neighbor on your right. And then your floating thumb. Allow that hand to come down and allow that foot to come down and take that left leg out to the side. So you're going to push the sole of your left foot onto the floor and your leg is nice and straight. We're going to walk the hands in and come up onto our right knee and shin. We're going to go into gate pose. So let's inhale the arms up. And as we exhale, allow the left arm to float down the left leg and that right arm to reach overhead. You can keep your gaze down at your left hand, or back to the neutral position, or maybe up to the inner part of your right elbow. Whatever works for you today. Let's inhale that up. As we exhale, place your right hand down on the floor. Allow the left arm to come up. Maybe look up at your floating left hand. For a little balance challenge, if you'd like, flex that left foot and allow it to float up. So you're just balancing on your right hand and your right knee and shin. Again, your gaze can be down at your right hand, neutral, or up towards the sky where your left hand is. And now let's return to that long leg on the floor. Inhale the arms up. We're going to exhale the hands down to the mat. That left leg is going to sweep behind the right leg, and we're going to work on the hips again. Your left leg is going to go behind your right leg, and your left knee is going to tuck in behind your right knee. They're going to be really close together. Splay your feet out so that your right foot is on the left side of the mat, and your left foot is on the right foot's on the left side of the mat, and the left foot's on the right side of the mat. And we're going to push those hips back between our feet. So it's very much like good. It feels good on the hips, doesn't it?
Yes.
It feels, I'm feeling it more in one hip than the other. How about you?
Me too.
Which one are you feeling?
My front, or my top leg.
Yeah, I'm feeling my top leg too, which is my right. And we're going to press up. And we're going to uncross those legs. And we're going to take our hips in a rotation. So you're back into that table pose. We're going to take 3 rotations with our hips. Exhale the hips down towards the right and up from the left. 3 of those at your own pace. And when you've completed those, just come center and check out your wrist and your knee alignment under shoulders and hips. And we're going to repeat that on the other side. So we're going to extend the right leg and press the ball of that foot into the mat. Feel the stretch through the calf and through that Achilles. Again, keeping the hips level and square with the mat, we're going to allow that leg to float up. So we're thinking about getting that leg parallel with the mat while keeping our hips level. If you'd like, you can extend the left arm and turn the palm into the center line of the mat. As you reach forward with your fingertips, press away behind you with your heel and look at your thumb on the mat. Now look at your floating thumb. Look at your imaginary neighbor on your right. Look at your imaginary neighbor on your left. Look at your floating thumb again. Allow that hand to come down to the mat. Allow your leg to come down, and then take that right leg out to the side and push the sole of the right foot down into the floor, coming up onto that left knee and shin. All right, we're going to repeat that gate pose on the other side. Let's inhale those arms up. As we exhale, allow the right arm to go down the right thigh, down to the shin, maybe towards the foot, and the left arm to come overhead. Your gaze can be down at your right foot, neutral, or up at your left inner elbow. Notice where you're feeling this in your body. The opening in the left side. The flexion in the right. What's happening with the inner thigh? Let's inhale those arms up. As we exhale, allow the left hand to come down to the floor and the right arm to float up. Maybe you look up at your right thumb. For a little balance challenge, allow that right leg to float up while still flexing that foot. You can gaze up at that hand if you like. Let's bring ourselves back down with that foot. Come back up with the arms, and we're going to exhale the hands down to the mat. Sweep the right leg behind the left. So the right knee is just behind the left knee. Splay your feet out, right to left, left to right, and then press your hips back down between your heels. You might be feeling this on one side more than the other. How about you, Mandy?
I feel it both.
You feel both?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Continue to breathe. Only press into this as far as it feels comfortable. And if it's really hateful for your body, don't do it. Just go to child's pose. And now let's press up. And we're going to uncross those legs. Bring wrists beneath the shoulders, knees beneath the hips. And we're going to exhale our hips down to the left in those circles this time. So exhaling down to the left and inhaling up from the right. Follow your own breath. Breath leads. Movement follows. Beautiful. Once you come center, walk your hands about an inch forward. Spread the hands, the fingers. Curl the toes under. We're going to exhale our hips up for our first down dog of the day. Now with down dog, there's a lot of different possibilities here. And feel free to walk your dog here, bending one knee and then straightening the other leg, just like Mandy's doing right now. I'm going to try to keep that 6-foot social distance here, but I want everyone to see how lovely and flat and neutral Mandy's back is. Her shoulder blades are tucked down into those imaginary back pockets. She's pressing down firmly with her hands. And she's walking her dog. I mean, it's her dog. She gets to walk it as fast or slowly as she wants. All right, now we're all going to take our heels and try to press the heels down towards the earth, allowing the head to rest between the biceps. If your heels don't come down, it's okay. Honor your body with what it has for you today. Now we're going to bend both knees quite profoundly, and if you like, it's part of your practice, just hop up towards your hands. Otherwise, take a whole bunch of little steps and walk those feet up to your hands. And we're just going to hang in a forward fold. We're going to allow those arms to be limp. Our upper body is going to sag like a rag doll. You can nod your head yes. Shake it no, and allow the crown of the head just to be drawn down towards the earth. You're as loose and as limp as a rag doll here. Soft knees are fine if that feels better. If you've got really angry hamstrings today, keep the knees soft. Be gentle with yourself. Now, if anybody has back issues, I want you to come up with a flat back. Otherwise, tuck the tailbone and chin under and then roll all the way up to our mountain pose. And we're finally vertical, aren't we? You didn't think we'd ever get here. Let's get to the top of our mat. We're going to do a few sun salutations, and then we're going to move into a variation on dancing warrior. So be prepared for some fun. Okay, let's go to the top of the mat. And whatever version of mountain is good for you, do that. Round those shoulders up and down and back. Open up the chest. Let's inhale the arms up to upward salute. As we exhale, swan dive down, opening your chest all the way down to that forward fold. As you inhale, come to half fold. Your hands can be resting on your shins. Take your gaze forward to help flatten that back. And just imagine you've got a tray of drinks on your back. Exhale, forward fold. We're gonna frame both feet, so bend both knees if you need. Take that right leg back. And we're gonna rock back and forth here. Make sure that your left knee never protrudes over your toes. Try to keep it above the ankle. And just rock back and forth gently here. Wonderful. Drop the back knee, top of that back foot. Steady yourself and root and come up for a low lunge. Hands on hips or hands up high. Yogi's choice. Exhale the hands down to the mat. Curl the back toes under, step back into plank. Bring those elbows in. If you modify, if you want, on your knees, that's fine. Exhale all the way down using your upper body strength to lower. And then inhale to baby cobra or bigger cobra. Shoulders are down and back, elbows are bent. Curl the toes under. Exhale the hips up for down dog. If hopping forward is part of your practice, go ahead and fret and hop forward. Otherwise, raise that right leg and step forward with the right followed by the left, inhaling into half fold. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse that swan dive all the way up. Exhale your hands down into prayer, release, and repeat on the other side. Inhale those arms up. Exhale, swan diving all the way down to that forward fold. Inhale to half fold. Exhale, forward fold. Take that left leg back. So now your right knee is above your right ankle. We're gonna rock back and forth here. Just getting a little bit more love to those hip flexors and extensors. Settling the knee over the ankle in the front. Drop the back knee, top of the back foot, and come on up for your low lunge. Hands up high or hands on the hips. Open up the chest. Think about those arms being long and strong if you're doing that upward salute. Exhale the hands down to the mat, frame that front foot, step back into plank. Again, you can modify on your knees if you wish. Elbows in, exhale all the way down, and inhale to cobra, or maybe up dogs this time on the tops of your feet. Curl the toes under. Exhale the hips up to the sky for down dog again. Again, if hopping forward is your practice, go ahead and hop into your half fold. Otherwise, raise that left leg. Step forward left, follow by the right. Inhaling to half fold. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse the swan dive all the way up. And exhale the hands down into prayer. And release. Wonderful. Okay. Oh, hey, Beverly. How are you? Good to see you. Hey, Jamie. So we're going to start now with our dancing warrior variation. And I'm going to show you really briefly what I mean. Instead of going into our warrior one, we're going to start here in mountain. We're going to inhale the arms up and step back into warrior two. Then we'll go to our reverse warrior, our side angle, but we're going to add on. We're going to pivot on that back foot and we're going to come to warrior one here. So that's how we're going to work into warrior one. We'll have more fun from there. But let's just start with that. So go ahead and meet me at the front of your mat. As we inhale those arms up, inhale that left leg up. Flex the foot. And sweep that left arm back, left leg back, going into warrior two. Now in your warrior two, I want you to check out your knee. Make sure that's above your ankle, it's not splaying, flopping in. The hips should be square with the long end of the mat, and you're pressing into the outer edge of your back leg. Look out over your right fingertips. Yes, they need a manicure. It's been that long since we've been able to get a manicure, right? I always do. Okay. Beautiful warrior two. We're going to go into that reverse warrior. Come up, straighten that front knee. That right arm comes over as the left arm goes down the leg. Think about your hip and shoulder being in alignment. As we inhale up, we move through and press down on an exhale into side angle. Right arm on right thigh. Your left arm can be up high or it can be overhead. Again, think about shoulder over shoulder, hip over hip. We're going to come back up, short time into warrior two. And then pivot on that back foot, coming into warrior one. Now that back heel now is when you press down, the outside of that leg is pressed down, whole foot on the floor. You're coming into that warrior one. Beautiful. Pivot on the back foot fully, so now that you're in high lunge, sink down low. Next time we inhale, we're going to step forward. So you might want to come in a little bit closer here. We're going to inhale that leg up from the back. And then exhale the hands down to prayer and foot down again. Nicely done. We have a second side, don't we? Okay. So this time will be the right side. I'm going to turn around so I don't turn my back to you. All right. So I'm starting back here this time. You'll see both of us from a different angle. So beginning in our mountain pose, inhale the arms up, the right arm lifts up. Hold the balance there as long as you like. As we exhale, sweep that right arm back, open up into warrior two. Okay. Press into the outer edge of that right foot. Hips are square with that long end of the mat. Honor your body. I know we're not all perfect. And look out at your left fingertips. Yes, they're bad too. Sink down into it. Power warrior. Both legs are strong. Now, turn that left hand up. Inhale it over. Straighten that front knee. And you're coming over for your reverse warrior. Maybe looking up to the inner part of your arm. Inhaling up and exhaling down into side angle. Again, you're going to rest that left arm on the left thigh. The right arm's up to the sky or over your ear. Yogi's choice. We're going to come up and through our warrior two. And then we're going to pivot on that back foot and then turn so that our hips are square, coming into our warrior one. Bring the arms up overhead. Pivot on that back foot. So now you're in high lunge, high crescent. Arms up high. Sink down low. As you inhale, bring that right leg up. And exhale, hands and legs down. And release. Wow. How are you feeling?
Great job. Feeling good.
Feeling good? Feeling good. So how are you guys doing? You doing good? let us know by giving us thumbs up, or if you've got questions, put them in the comments. We want to know. Plus, hey Beverly, we know that we're going to have this on our page, our Facebook page, so you can come back and do this again if you can't do it right now. So never fear, we'll have more later, okay? All right, a little balancing perhaps. All right, so what I'm going to do now is ask that everybody, if you need to have, we don't need the block. Never mind, forget the blocks, we're not going to use those. We're going to step right into a warrior one, okay? So take that leg up and step back into warrior one. Think about those hips being square, arms are overhead. Okay. We're going to press down low into that warrior one, keeping those arms nice and straight, fingers pointed to the sky, shoulders down away from the ears. We're going to sink down nice and low into this and pivot on that back leg. So now you're in high lunge. Now you can take your hands to your hips if you want, or you can reach out long. We're going to bring ourselves into warrior three. So as you lean forward, that front leg will straighten, and we'll come into warrior three. Flex the back foot. Think about your hips being square. Your hands can be on your hips, or they can be long. Good. They can even be out like an airplane if you prefer. Mamie's got a beautiful warrior three, doesn't she? All right. So if you'd like to come out of that, we're going to step back into our high lunge. Pivot into that warrior one. And then we're going to turn and face the long end of our mat. Right now my toes are out. What I want you to do is turn your toes forward or slightly go pigeon-toed here. We're going to do a wide-legged forward fold. Hey, Debbie. And we're going to get nice and tall, roll the shoulders down and chest opens. As we exhale, fold forward from the hip crease, going down with a nice flat back. And when you get just down to where you would have a nice half fold where your back is flat, I want you to stop. Now, if you've got a block, this is where it can be helpful. I want you to take your left hand and rest it on the floor or on the block while keeping your back flat. We'll release the right arm and we're going to inhale that arm up to the sky. Maybe look up at that right arm. Maybe keep your gaze over to the right side. And as we exhale, we release. Replace the left hand with the right. And as we inhale, allow that left arm to come up. Think about your back being flat, your hips being square. And then exhale that hand down. Remove the block if you don't need it. And just slump. Allow yourself to relax all the way down. Maybe the backs of your hands just scrape the mat. Let your head hang. Relax everything in the upper body, just like forward fold. All right, now we're going to take our hands back to our hips, and we're going to think about flattening that back. We're going to inhale up with a flat back, and exhale, release. All right, I'm going to ask you just to step to the front of the mat, and we're going to do the same thing with the other leg. So this time, we're going to be stepping back with the opposite leg. So we're going to be going into our warrior one with the left leg back this time. So Mamie's going to be facing the other way. You're going to be pressing into the outer part of that back foot. Let's inhale the arms up. If you want to come into that full expression of warrior one. And now pivot on that back foot. Coming into that high lunge. Get ready for that warrior three. It's our balance for the day. You take your hands to your hips if you want. And we're going to lean forward, press away from the floor with that back leg. Allow the front leg to straighten and allow the back leg to come up. Hands on hips, hands out wide, or hands out front. Press away with that back heel. When you're ready, step back into that high lunge. Pivot into that warrior one. And then we're going to turn and go back into that wide-legged forward fold. So, getting those hands on the hips. This time, if you'd like, take your hands behind your back. We're going to inhale those shoulders up and down, open up the chest, and as we exhale, fold forward with a flat back. Make sure that those toes are kind of pigeon-toed here. And if you'd like, those arms can come up away from your back. Allow your head to hang. Relax your neck. We're in that forward fold. Think about your arms being way up to the sky if that feels right for you. As we prepare to come back up, think about that flat back. Maybe arms come back down to the back before you raise up. Inhale up. And exhale, release. All right. I'm just going to ask everybody to step into the center of the mat or hop in. And we're going to work our way down to the mat for our final poses. And then, of course, yogi dessert, Shavasana, right? Which is the best part of every practice. So, let's go ahead and start again at the front of the mat. And we're going to inhale our arms up to that upward salute. Exhale, swan dive down with that open chest and flat back to forward fold. Inhale, forward fold. Exhale into plank. Just get yourself anywhere you want. All the way down. Inhale into our last cobra or up dog. Curl the toes under, exhale the hips up into down dog. And we're going to prepare for pigeon. So we're going to start raising that left leg, point the toes, bend the knee, and rotate that hip so that your left hip is stacked on top of your right. Now we're going to square the hips to the mat and keep that knee bent and bring the left knee into the left wrist. Extend the right leg and keep that right kneecap on the mat. Now, if you're like me, tight hips, you might need a prop, like a block or a blanket or a pillow underneath that left hip. You want to be able to keep your hands on your hips or take your hands at least off the mat. So if you're wobbly, get a prop. That's what they're there for. And now we're going to take ourselves all the way down onto the forearms and allow ourselves to rest, stretching out that hip one more time. Now, if this is a really hateful pose for you, an option is to sit on your left cheek and put your left foot onto your right thigh and come over that way. And when you feel complete, Press your hands up underneath your shoulders, and we're gonna curl the right toes under and take that left leg back into our last down dog of the day. So walk the dog if you like, and we're gonna raise that right leg this time, point the toes, bend the knee, rotate the hip, and stack the right hip on top of the left. Now we're going to rotate the hips so they're square to the mat. Take that right knee into the right wrist. Extend the left leg. Make sure the kneecap is flat. Again, if you've got tight hips, get that prop under the right hip. And you should be able to bring your hands to your hips. And then bring yourself down. Again, if this is a really hateful pose for you, if this side's bad, take yourself to your hip instead of sitting on your knee. And now let's press those hands underneath the shoulders. Remove the prop, and we're going to take ourselves onto our right hip, swing that left leg forward, and meet me in staff pose. Inhale those arms up, exhale, forward fold, bring the chest down towards the legs. It doesn't matter where your hands rest, whether it's on your knees, your shins, or your toes, or even further. I want you to keep your gaze at your feet, and that will encourage a good spinal alignment here. And now let's inhale up, and then exhale ourselves down for final relaxation. Let's go ahead and take it down to the mat. If you have something you want to put on to keep yourself warm during the final relaxation, go ahead and grab it, whether it's a pair of socks or a little hoodie or something like that. And we're going to take ourselves all the way down. If it feels right for you, just exhale, curve the back all the way down. Otherwise, take your hands down and just let yourself come to the mat. If you're wearing something in your hair that's preventing your head from being nice and level, take that barrette or whatever out. Allow your arms to rest gently at your side. Palms surrender to the ceiling. Allow your feet to splay out and your legs to grow heavy. We're going to use these next few moments of practice to completely relax and restore. And I'll bring you back for the end. begin to bring a little bit of awareness back to your body. Noticing the gentle rise and fall of your chest as you inhale and exhale. Notice your mat beneath you, the air surrounding you. And when you're ready to bring some movement back to your body, do so very gently and easily. Perhaps taking in some deeper inhalations, or wiggling your fingers and toes. Perhaps making small movements with your ankles and wrists. And when you're ready, perhaps extend the arms overhead for a really big inhalation, reaching along with legs and feet, taking in that inhalation. And when you're ready to exhale, drawing the knees into the chest, giving them a hug, perhaps rocking side to side for a little back massage. And prepare yourself to roll over to your right side, gently cradling your head with your arm. And recalling your intention for today's practice, begin to bring yourself back to the present moment. And when you're ready, just come to seated again where we began, coming full circle on our practice. And placing your intentions in the palm of your hands. Bring them to heart center to seal our practice. I bid you peace. Namaste. Friends, it was really good to be with you today. And if you weren't able to watch the whole practice or participate, you know you can find us on our web page later on. Our Facebook page later on. So go ahead and meet us at the mat later. We've got a whole bunch of other workouts coming your way later on today. So keep looking for us on Facebook Live. And hopefully we'll see you again real soon. Love you.
Thank you, guys.